Let me start with last night and the Obama speech. I'm sure you chose it over the football game.
Was kept with riveted attention.
Were you? Great. Okay. Riveted. You were riveted by it. So since you were riveted by it, I'm sure you can give me a detailed critique. I'm going to just go on a limb here and say you probably didn't much like it.
That is fair to say.
Yeah.
I actually think last night was typical of the problems with this administration. President Obama is a true believer, and he believes in government. It's his answer for everything. More government spending, more government control, more power in Washington. What was most striking, nothing the president proposed last night will create jobs. Virtually all of it is the status quo. Virtually all of it is maintain the current payroll tax holiday, which means maintain the status quo. This last month, that created 0 jobs.
Well, Mr. Cruz, Mark Zandi, the chief economist for the Moody's rating agency, last night, in fact, said that the Obama plan would create 1.9 million jobs and would result in a 2% increase in GDP and a 1% decrease in the unemployment rate. What do you say about that?
You know, I seem to recall President Obama's economist saying the last stimulus plan would result in unemployment below 8%.
Well, this is an outside economist from Moody's, a respected rating agency. Do you disbelieve what he's saying about this?
Yes, I absolutely disbelieve it. And look, I'm reminded of that there's an old classic Saturday Night Live skit where Christopher Walken is producing a rock band, and there's a person that keeps playing an annoying cowbell. Mm-hmm. And in the old skit, Christopher Walken's solution to everything is more cowbell. We need more cowbell. The same is true with President Obama. He knows one thing: more cowbell. Whatever the problem is, we need more spending. We need more federal government control. If you look at the different pieces of it, none of them actually affect incentives. The problem is this administration doesn't understand where jobs come from. A payroll tax holiday that is a temporary holiday is effectively the same thing as sending a check to everyone. It is pure Keynesian stimulus, and the problem is Keynesian stimulus doesn't work. The only thing that works in terms of incentives is affecting marginal tax rates going forward and affecting the incentives going forward.
So the people who say that the problem with the economy today is not that people aren't hiring, it's that people aren't spending. And that therefore, if we create a payroll tax holiday or we allow for a certain amount of money to come back into the hands of the American consumer, and that therefore they spend that money, that's going to fix things. You're not buying that.
No, I'm not buying that. And you know, the problem we have is not too little government spending. It's not like if only the federal government thought about spending some money, that would fix the problem. The fundamental problem is very simple. This administration has engaged in an unrelenting war on jobs. This week, in anticipation of the president's speech last night, I launched our 12-point jobs and growth agenda.
Right, this was published on National Review Online.
Yes.
And in fact, I've got a couple of the things right here that you proposed, in fact. You proposed slashing the corporate tax rate. You proposed reforming entitlements, reining in the Fed, repealing Obamacare, balanced budget amendment. I mean, I will say, without disrespect, this is standard fare these days for a candidate from your side of the Republican spectrum. This is a lot of ideas we've heard before, but you've put this together in a plan that you think trumps the president's plan.
Well, it's interesting you think it's standard fare. Yesterday, Senator Jim DeMint, the strongest conservative in the U.S. Senate,
endorsed you in this race.
Who has endorsed me in this race, sent out an email to thousands of conservatives across the country attaching my plan and suggesting it as a model for every conservative candidate in the country. But here's the difference, and here's why it's not standard. Look, you could say on one level, okay, you oppose Obamacare and are for cutting taxes. Every Republican says that.
Right.
But there's a difference. I mean, you asked what creates jobs.
Right.
The first 6 of these steps are stopping the Obama war on jobs. And there are a series of policies that have systematically killed jobs. Obamacare is killing thousands of jobs. Cap and trade, which Obama has been pushing both legislatively and through the back door of the EPA, has the potential to kill thousands of jobs. The
Not in place yet, but it's the prospect of it.
But it's killing the jobs because if you talk to business owners, what they say is there is incredible uncertainty. They don't know what the regulators are going to do. They know that Washington is coming at them and putting more and more burdens, more and more taxes, more and more barriers, and that's why they're not investing.
But you grant that cap and trade has zero chance of passing any time in our lifetime right now, right?
Well, except that it's passing through the back door through the EPA.
So you're saying that sort of statutorily what they're doing is what they can't accomplish legislatively?
Well, and in fact, look at the offshore drilling moratorium. The chances of a drilling moratorium through Congress are zero. So what did the Obama administration do?
Come through the back door.
Dictated it like a monarch.
Right.
And a federal court of appeals, in a case I litigated for the Chamber of Commerce, concluded that the drilling moratorium was contrary to federal law.
Mr. Cruz, was there anything that the president could have said last night that you would have supported? I mean,
absolutely.
Realistically, give me some things that you think. I mean, not fantasy, but reality. Not the president suddenly flips and now he's a Tea Party Republican or he's a conservative Republican. But the president in the situation that he's in, is there anything that he could have said that you and your side would have supported?
I would have supported anything that reduces the burden of government on job creators. There's a fundamental difference in philosophy. President Obama believes government creates jobs. Government doesn't create jobs. The only jobs government can create is government employees.
So the people who are in government and who are at the head of government should not claim credit for job creation?
They don't create jobs. Now, what government can do incredibly well is kill jobs.
Right, but
the only thing that creates jobs is private entrepreneurs putting capital to work to meet a demonstrated need, which means you can have government leaders, number one, kill jobs, like President Obama has done, or number two, put in place policies that empower and unleash the private sector.
So when candidates go around the country or go around the state claiming to have created jobs or taking credit for the creation of jobs, they do so not because they themselves created them, but because they created the conditions that allowed private business to create jobs.
I think that's a fair way to say it.